If you are listening to this now, it's because the connection between you two still pulses in the invisible. It hasn't faded. It has only plunged into a silence that also speaks. There are days when the emptiness feels larger than anything. You sense that something between you still lives, but he acts as if he feels nothing, and that hurts. Not because you need answers, but because your soul already knows all of them. Yet, even so, the heart insists on asking, why did he pull away? Why this silence? So deep. If this message has begun to touch something inside you, subscribe now. This channel is not a refuge of words. It is a temple for soul reunions. Today, we will talk about something that many feel, but few can put into words. The time of waiting, the space of absence, and the invisible force that continues to bind two hearts, even when everything seems to have ended. We will talk about divine timing, about how the reunion does not depend on logic, nor on will, but on the readiness of the soul, because sometimes separation is just the universe clearing the way. Maybe you are experiencing exactly that now. A cycle of silence, distance, and doubts. But has it really ended? Or is all of this part of the reunion that is being prepared? You wonder why he pulled away. What happened between that gaze that seemed eternal and this abyss that now separates you two? Maybe you have revisited every conversation, every silence, every detail, trying to find a mistake, trying to understand if it was something you said or something he felt and never had the courage to explain. But the truth is that not everything that breaks is lost. There are pains that cannot be put into words, and there are feelings that are so intense that they scare, and that's where many flee. Not because they don't feel, but because they feel too much. Have you noticed this? That the more genuine the bond, the more it hides? Sometimes, what hurts is not the absence of answers. It's his absence. It's knowing that the bond exists, but that, for some reason, he chose to turn his back. And still, you still feel. And this is not weakness. It's spiritual sensitivity. It's proof that this love is not just of the flesh, it's of the soul. You wonder if he still thinks of you when everything is silent, if he still feels your energy coming, even from afar. You try to move on, but the heart pulls you back. And deep down, there's a voice whispering that this isn't over, that this is just a chapter. But what if it's just an illusion? What if you are stuck in something that only you feel? What if this love isn't real? It's questions like these that keep you awake and leave you there, between faith and doubt, between feeling and fleeing. But you know in your body, you know in your soul, this love was not born to pass. It was born to transform. But the timing of the soul is not the same as that of the clock, and this is where most get lost, trying to live hastily, what only blossoms at the right time. You have tried everything to distance yourself. You have tried to erase photos, block thoughts, close portals, but he keeps appearing in dreams, in songs, in unfamiliar glances on the street. He keeps coming in the form of longing, even on days when you swear you have forgotten. This is not madness, it's connection. And soul connection does not obey logic, it obeys vibration. Are you really alone in this feeling? Or does he also think of you, but still can't handle what that awakens in him? The path is open, but not everyone has the courage to cross. And maybe that's what's happening now. His soul feels, but his ego resists. Your presence activates parts of him that he still doesn't know how to handle. You remind him of what he tried to bury, and that's why he pulls away. Not everything that seems like an end is an end. Sometimes, it's just the universe clearing the way for a new beginning. What if what you are living now is exactly that? A sacred pause, a divine interlude, the time the universe needs to prepare the reunion, because true love does not get lost. It transforms, it silences, it reorganizes, but it always finds its way back. The pain of abandonment is not only in his absence, it's in the echo that remains inside you. It's in the question that repeats silently, why didn't he stay? It's in the moments when you feel his presence, even without any message, no sign. It's in this mix of love and exhaustion, because loving in silence is also tiring. But what you may not have realized yet is that behind every distancing there is a call from your soul to look deeper. Deeper than what he did or didn't do. Deeper than this waiting that seems endless. Deeper than the illusion that he is responsible for your happiness. Yes, there is a real pain, but there is also a mirror, because the connection between you is not a story of common romance. It's a story of awakening, and awakening begins with pain. You need to understand something essential. When he pulls away, it's not just you who suffers. He is also at war. Maybe not on the outside, but inside him, the battle is constant. Because feeling you activates a part of him that he has tried to hide his whole life. You see him without masks, and that scares him. The soul calls, but the ego screams. And the ego screams loudly when it is afraid. It makes excuses, shuts down, invents reasons not to look within. But you feel, that when he avoids you, it's because his energy reveals who he truly is, and he's not ready to deal with that yet. How many times have you tried to convince yourself that he doesn't feel anything anymore? How many times have you tried to erase everything you lived through, just to protect yourself? And yet, the connection remains there, like an invisible thread that doesn't break, like a song that insists on playing, even when you try to change the station. This happens because this bond is not of the mind, it's of the soul. And the love of the soul doesn't need promises. It needs courage to exist. But the ego is afraid of surrender. And that's why many spiritual connections go through such intense cycles of separation and reunion. It's the ego trying to protect itself from its own destiny. But now you are starting to see that his silence also speaks, to see that this absence is, in fact, a portal, a space between you where the universe works to heal, to cleanse, to prepare. What seems like rejection is often protection. He feels your strength, your light, your presence. And maybe at this moment, he can't hold that energy. You move him. You touch him in places he didn't even know existed. And the hardest thing to accept is this, that sometimes love is so great that it scares, so true that it paralyzes. But the universe sees what you feel. It hears what you don't say. It feels when you cry silently, when you look at the sky asking for answers that don't come. And it responds, just not always in the way you expect. Sometimes the answer is time. Sometimes the answer is silence. But even when everything seems still, the plan continues to move. And if you've come this far, listening to this, feeling every word, it's because your soul already knows. The reunion is not a possibility. It's a certainty. But not in your time, in the time of the soul, in the time of destiny. If any part of this message is stirring within you, write here in the comments. Write what your soul wants to say, not for me, but for yourself. This is not just a video, it's a mirror, a whisper from the universe to remind you who you are and what is being prepared for you. His silence is not the end. Sometimes it's your beginning, the beginning of your healing, your return, your reconnection with what is yours. You've waited so much from him. You waited for him to come back, to explain, to acknowledge everything you lived together. You even waited for an apology, or at least a look that said, I felt it too. But maybe what you still haven't realized is that this time of silence is not a punishment. It's a sacred pause, a pause where the universe is inviting you to something much greater than a reunion with him. It's calling you back to yourself, because before he comes back, you need to return to yourself. Before any message arrives, you need to learn to listen to yourself. And this is the hardest and most liberating lesson of the twin flames journey. The other only approaches when you approach yourself. There is a time to love the other, but there is an even more sacred time, the time to love yourself, to recognize yourself as whole, to realize that your soul doesn't depend on external answers to feel peace. You spent too much time trying to understand what he feels. But now, the universe is asking you to understand what you need, what you set aside, what you abandoned in yourself, trying to hold on to someone who wasn't ready. And here's a truth that may hurt, but it frees. You don't need to prove your love. If it's already love, it speaks for itself. You don't need to chase anything. What is of the soul finds its way back. Surrendering is not giving up. It's trusting. It's letting go of control. Not the feeling. It's allowing the universe to do what you can no longer do alone, align what is outside with what is inside. Yes, it may be that he returns, but it may also be that you have changed so much by the time that happens that you no longer desire the same. Because when you reunite with yourself, what once was everything becomes just part. You begin to see that true love is not insistence, it's frequency. And being on the same frequency is more important than being in the same place. You can love and let go. You can feel and move on. You can honor the connection without being attached to the absence. The pause is a portal. It is in it that your strength reveals itself. It is in it that you learn that the most important love of your life is the love for yourself. And if he is your twin flame, he will feel it. He will feel it when you stop chasing. He will feel it when your energy comes back home. He will feel that something has changed, not because you shouted, but because you silenced with truth. You are not a victim of silence. You are the guardian of your healing. And when you occupy that place, something magical happens. You stop waiting and start magnetizing, not out of need, but out of alignment. This is true surrender. It is not passivity. It is wisdom. It is looking at the void and understanding that it is not punishing you. It is preparing you. You deserve more than crumbs of presence. You deserve to be seen, felt, chosen, first by yourself, and only then by whoever is capable of walking by your side with the same courage. Don't romanticize suffering. Don't confuse intensity with destiny. Not all pain comes from love. Much comes from the resistance to let the old die. But when you accept, when you let go, when you trust, you make space for the true. Reunion happens. And not just any reunion, but the one that arises from the realignment of souls. The one that no longer needs fear or escape. The one that happens when the light of your soul is stronger than any shadow. You are not the part that waits. You are the part that awakens. The one that ignites the light in the midst of abandonment. The one that chooses to continue, even when everything inside you screams to stop. This is the moment when something changes, not outside, but inside. The moment when pain no longer paralyzes, it only informs. The moment when love continues, but dependence goes away. You have already understood that him missing you is no longer what sustains you, because now it is you who reunites with yourself. No longer seeking someone to complete you, but discovering that you are already whole. And when this awareness awakens, the universe bends, because a soul at peace has a silent magnetism. It does not chase after. It attracts. It does not beg for presence. It vibrates presence. It does not lose itself trying to be loved. It recognizes itself as love, and he feels it, even if he still doesn't understand, even if he tries to ignore. Because the energy that once touched his essence will never be forgotten. But now, you no longer live in waiting. You live in surrender, and that changes everything. You begin to see that his absence is no longer a hole. It is a mirror. That his silence is no longer a punishment. It is a call to your freedom. That waiting is no longer a prison. It is a sacred process of polishing your consciousness. And the more you return to yourself, the more he feels. He feels that something has changed. He feels that the woman who once begged now vibrates, that the soul that once bowed now stands up. It doesn't matter if you are far apart. It doesn't matter if he remains silent. The frequency of your soul is your greatest answer, and it is already calling for another reality, a reality where love does not hurt, where love does not hide, where love does not flee. You are not half of anyone. You are whole. And whoever is your mirror will feel it, because soul love does not disappear. It transforms, it adapts, it changes form, but never essence. And perhaps the greatest reunion of this story is not between you and him, but between you and your light, you and your truth, you and that force that has always existed within you, but that pain made you forget. Now you remember, now you awaken, now you return. And everything changes from this point, because when you return to yourself, the world returns with you, the energy realigns, the universe responds, and if it is meant to be, It will be, but not out of insistence. It will be out of resonance. It will be because two ready souls finally recognized each other. Without masks, without hurry, without fear. You are love. You are presence. You are the reunion you have always sought in another. And from now on, it is with this light that you walk, with this light that you attract, with this light that you are reborn. What is of the soul? Time does not erase. The universe takes care. And when you let go, it prepares. Nothing is in vain. Nothing is forgotten. Everything is sacred. You walked through your pain. You listened to the silences, touched the void, faced the absence, not only of him, but of yourself. And still, you remained, even without guarantees, even without return, even when everything seemed to be over. Your soul knew. The cycle has not yet closed. But today, something has transformed. Today, you are no longer waiting for him to see you. Because now, it is you who sees yourself, and this vision changes everything. Because when you see your truth clearly, nothing that is small serves you anymore. Nothing that is shallow nourishes you. Nothing that is absent paralyzes you. Now you know. The reunion does not start outside. It starts when you reconnect with your own essence. When you stop trying to decipher the signs and begin to be the sign itself. When you no longer position yourself as half of a story, but as a whole universe that pulses, feels, and lives with purpose. You are not alone. You never were. Every step you took in this journey was accompanied. Every tear that fell was welcomed in the invisible. Every time you wanted to give up, there were forces supporting you, even if you didn't see them. And now, you have arrived here, with more awareness, with more light, with more of you. Perhaps the reunion with him is close. Perhaps it is far. Perhaps it may never come in the form you expect. But that is no longer the center of your peace. Because now, you understand. What is true does not need to be forced. And what is of the soul has its own timing. If he is your twin flame, the universe will find a way, even if it takes time, even if it comes through paths you cannot yet see. But until then, you walk, no longer with the weight of waiting, but with the lightness of surrender. You let go, you trust, you expand. And in this expansion, everything changes. Because now, the vibration you emit is no longer one of lack. It is of magnetism, of spiritual power, of energetic sovereignty. You are a lighthouse, and lighthouses do not chase anyone. They simply shine, and whoever is ready finds the way back. So, if this message spoke to your soul, subscribe now. This is not just a channel. It is a temple of rescue, a place where awakened hearts recognize each other. Like, share, send it to those you feel also need to hear. Let's spread this light. Let's strengthen this invisible network of souls in search of themselves. And tell me in the comments, do you feel that there is still something between you two? You two? Or do you feel like you're finally coming back to yourself, right as your soul wishes? This isn't just a conversation. It's a meeting point. And remember, twin flames don't seek each other. They meet when the soul is ready.